Is it possible to recognize the horrors that go on, the injustice that goes on, the victimization that goes on, and recognize that we're not separate from that? Many people come to spiritual endeavors as a way of transcending that, and many religions and movements teach that transcendence. But in the invitation to open your own heart, to be still, to allow your mind to still, there is the capacity to discover that truly everything is included. Not that it's all right. Much of it is wrong. Not that it's all good. Much of it is bad. But that it's included. There is the inclusion of the polarities at the center. And when we take our few minutes to be still, we are the center in that moment. And may our speaking together reveal that that center is never absent. You know, I've been around for a while. I'm almost 80. So I've seen different movements and I've read about different movements, spiritual movements. And I know that quite often the motivation of those movements is to escape. Whether it's a movement of, if we can just get enough meditators, then there will be peace. Or if we can lift the Pentagon, as Allen Ginsberg wanted to do in the 60s, there will be peace. If we can protest enough, there will be peace. And we finally have to come to terms with that we're not in control of peace, which is also heresy for some New Age and create your reality believers, that really we're not in control of reality. We can be in control of our experience of reality. Certainly, if we have a negative state of emotions or a negative mind stream, negative thoughts, our experience will be negative, even in positive situations. And if we have a positive mind stream, our experience may be positive. But I'm not interested in your mind stream. I'm interested in what is always here, regardless of your mind stream. What is before creation and after all destruction, and not as an esoteric escapism, but as the willingness to bear the reality of the injustice that's in the world, all over the world, in your own heart, your own neighborhood, your own country, your own continent, and all the other continents and countries and hearts. To bear that without going to sleep on it, or without trying to escape it, which is just another form of going to sleep on it, without painting it in some gloss of pseudo-spiritual relief. To be still, to open, even to open to hopelessness. Hope is spoken about a lot now, and it was Obama's campaign slogan. And I appreciate hope. Hope is beautiful. There's still this possibility of a new day. But what I'm speaking about and what I'm inviting you to is what's before hope and before hopelessness, so that you don't have to keep hopelessness away because it's dangerous and because it's negative, and because if you're hopeless, you will then despair and live a life of misery. And that's not true. There is that which is before hope, before hopelessness, that already lives your life in the face of all that is right and all that is wrong. When that's turned to, which in the invitation to sit quietly together, to simply be home, then there is a strength that's available, a strength of character, a strength of person, that you can bear anything. And then your life, whether you never move from your room or whether you become a social worker for justice, your life is a beacon. It's a light shining. It's a spaciousness where there is no war, where there's no aggression, where there's no victimization, where there are no victims. In that spaciousness of your own being, which is easily discounted since there's so many billions of us, that we overlook the capacity for 1/100000th of humanity to be a beacon. That beacon maybe shines on your immediate family, in your neighborhood, your town. Finally, it shines all over the world without your doing anything and without your not doing anything. You may be fighting. You may be resisting. But in the heart of the matter, there is this shining, silent beingness that includes both victims and victimizers, both aggressors and those who are victimized by that aggression. So may we recognize and be awake to the troubles of our world without being afraid to open to that. May we not be escaping via spiritual endeavors. May we be opening. There is a time for escape. Escape is not wrong. And we are seeing stories of that every day as people rush to get out of the Ukraine or to get out of Russia or to get out of multiple places where they are being victimized. Every continent in our world, the spotlight now is on Ukraine and Russia, but it's happening everywhere. Bigger degrees in some places, smaller in others. So to recognize that and recognize that there may be action that you're called to take, but that whatever is occurring in terms of action or no action, there is this light of beingness. When you are still, not resisting, not denying, not ignoring, but still, even in the face of everything, your emotions, events, the stillness includes, has room for everything and everybody. So may our time, our conversation, be a support for that, so that, as Papaji would often end his meetings, may all being live in peace. Then you don't need hope or hopelessness. You have committed yourself throughout eternity to be this beacon of light without knowing how to be, simply to be. And we will see. We will see. We don't need to project a future and we don't need to deny a future. Just this willingness at least to hear the invitation and then to freely choose, yes, that's what my life is given to. Or at the very least, yes, that's what this moment is given to. And then we will see how big is a moment in a lifetime.